No, 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 no heroes. Woo! No, 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 no heroes. No heroes, baby.
Hello guys, welcome to, this is week 6 of the German NCL and we are watching a Black Yellow Luffy versus Teach match between Chris Heidepeter and ARMAN Hajigasemi. And I'm joined by my friend Torben. Hi Torben.
Hello, hello. It's nice to be back.
Yes, nice to have you. So, can you give us any input on this matchup? Do you have particular experience with either side?
Yeah, so I had a little BY training arc like a
Mhm.
month ago, and this is definitely the worst matchup for BY, and like
Mhm.
one of the reasons why BY hasn't like dominated every tournament, I think.
Yep.
And there's somewhat of a split opinion here if you should staff as BY or if you should just go face.
Yeah, true.
And
I've
the
seen both
Croatians,
approaches.
like, yeah, right, Hevoya and Duka are really adamant about starving in this matchup.
Mhm.
And then other people just say, if the BB player is good and knows what they are doing, then starving kind of becomes worse if they just don't rest their characters, stuff.
Mhm. So their plan is
So,
to just build up a board full of Burgess, basically, right?
exactly. And the idea is if you starve, you don't let them see as many Burges, as many 10 cost BBs.
Yeah,
But
but
of course, we can also see like Arman already found stage, right? And then with stage, it becomes very difficult to like deny BB their good units.
yeah, makes sense. So is the argument because Blackbeard is always swinging at Luffy's life, right?
Yeah.
Or here
I mean,
Arman
it
decided
depends.
not to, I guess. No, I think he just forgot, right?
Yeah,
Kind of looked like he
it looks
still
like it.
wanted to do it, but oh, he just
Yeah,
swung into Flampe. Yeah, okay.
the thing is, if you bring BY to like to life and then you just use lead ability, it's so difficult for BY to awaken themselves because all their awakeners don't work except for the punch Luffy, right?
Mhm.
So that's sort of where you slowly start building up a board, and then you have like two Burges on board. Then if you swing face, they can't really take it because otherwise you're gonna get a lot of cards, right?
Yeah.
So usually you want to leave your opponent at two. But also you don't want to put them too early at two, right? Because then they might awake. Actually, I'm not sure how relevant. If they awake that early and start running resources, probably also fine.
But I think the main issue is that they just get to cheat out 5 drops multiple, right? And then
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you won't be able to answer like more than one 5 drop at a time,
Mhm.
usually. Because
Yeah.
like only thing that really efficiently deals with it is Finger Gun and I guess Laboon into Q. But then you
Yeah.
also need to, like as soon as you awaken them, you need to start leader abilitying, right? And you want to delay that for as long as
Yeah.
possible. So I think
Usually
there's
you want to do that. Yeah.
there's also this argument to be made for BY that when you approach your 8 Dawn turn, you want to prepare a Kuzan in your trash,
Exactly. Yeah.
so you threaten Gecko for Kuzan, so they have to already start leader abilitying uh, every turn, despite you not being awakened yet.
Exactly. And I
And
was wondering if Arman runs Laboon because I think a lot of people say Laboon is kind of bait in BB.
yeah, after Xixo
But
won his online treasure cup with a list without any Laboons, people started catching up
yeah, yeah.
to that.
But we just saw Arman put a beautiful alt art Laboon into his trash, so he is definitely playing some amount of it.
Yeah, a card that was like under 10 euros a couple months ago, and now it's like, I don't know,
Yeah, the
30?
stones.
And
But I
there
think
he
it
has,
went down again. I don't know really why, but yeah.
I guess just because of OP-10, people don't play it anyways in their list because you need to make space for the 5-drop Kuzan, right? And
Mhm.
Liberation.
Yeah, and here Chris isn't starving Arman. So Arman is just usually if you get starved, you get punished for resting your Laboon because then your opponent can swing has a unit to swing into, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Chris decided not to starve this game, and so Arman can just rest his stuff. And
Yeah, makes
also,
sense.
Chris decided to remove this Dock Q, which means he just gets to draw another card. Usually you don't swing into Dock Q, but yeah.
Yeah, especially maybe if you've already seen 2 Laboons out, but I mean the Dock Q does always threaten just to remove one of your 5-drops together with a Laboon, right? But
Yeah, so, yeah.
this was Chris's 7 on turn, right? Yeah, he just swung a
Yeah,
7 and played a 5-drop. And now we should see ARMAN using his leader ability from now on, right? Because there's a Kuzan in trash.
exactly. Yeah, put a Kuzan in trash. And also, ARMAN has so many cards in hand, right? Because your opponent didn't starve you, they gave you cards from Dock you.
Yeah,
I think ARMAN is fine to just
double
start using
Burgess
the
here.
ability.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very good.
Yeah, that's super strong.
And also, did you see ARMAN swung at life and Chris blocked? He doesn't want to even go to 1 life.
True.
Which might mean that he doesn't have Punch Luffy in hand to awaken, right?
It could also be that because he played Makino, right? He might have found 5-drops in there, which he
True. Yeah,
wants
you're
to
right.
preserve so he can play babies.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, ARMAN using this spot now to utilize his lead ability, stopping any on-plays from happening.
Yeah, and usually there's like a sort of fork for BY where if you play down your 5-drops and your opponent ignores them and plays their Burgess, then you have like a threatening board to start going face. And if they remove your stuff, they didn't develop Jesus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in this case, Chris only played a Zabo. He didn't have any more relevant threat. And so ARMAN could just slam down to Jesus and will not get punished here.
Yeah. So ideally, Chris would have a Punch Luffy in his first life, be able to play a Baby Luffy to get that out, then use the Punch Luffy to burn his life, go down to 0, use lead ability, and then potentially play another kid or a 5-drop. That would be a strong turn. But he's starting off with a 7k swing. I guess it doesn't really matter in this spot if you swing 7 or 9. And just dropping down another Sabo without an on-play.
And of course, no on-play. Yeah, and the thing is, if you starve and your opponent happens to still have like 2 Jesus, you're in a really rough spot because then you can't even pressure life.
Yeah.
So in that case, it's nice that Chris didn't starve because otherwise he just wouldn't have a win con right now.
Yeah. And is there any argument ever to be made to be full starving BY so that BY's Raigos become worse?
Well, but then you don't really have that much pressure with the Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Because imagine Chris didn't have like 2 Zabos here on board.
Yeah, then you would already be threatening
swing 5
leader.
face, and yeah, Chris needs to start countering, right?
Yeah.
And if you starve, there isn't this pressure.
Yeah.
So usually when I played BY on Netta and my opponents tried to starve me, I was a little more happy.
Yeah, that's the Raigo.
And Chris needs to trash his life. Yeah, okay.
And that
And
was
it was
actually
a
a
Baby
Baby Luffy.
Okay, but also Chris attaching all his Don to his leader now, so yeah, doesn't intend on awakening this round.
Yeah,
and
would
here the
only
Zabos
work
are, yeah.
if he has a 5-drop in life and the corresponding baby.
Here the Zabos are really nice, right? Because now your opponent can't go for game. You have 3 swings, you have 2 blockers and 1 life.
True, but it's still kind of iffy, right? Because even a 5k you would have to counter, because otherwise Shigan into 2 big swings would completely break you.
Well, the thing is, if you have a lot of cards in hand, maybe you want if you bait your opponent to go for game, that's your win con, right?
Oh, right, because you can just return kill potentially.
Yeah. But I don't know how many. ARMAN has a lot of cards. I don't think this is a good idea to bait ARMAN to go for lethal.
Yeah.
He has like 10 cards. Oh.
Not quite that many, I think. Maybe like 7 something. discarding for stage here, finding a 2k.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Arman has another 10, of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
he does.
Because of the stage, right? You just see so many cards, it's like
Yeah.
very likely you have at least. And you didn't get starved, so yeah. And we'll have to see if Chris has maybe another Raigo. And is Arman not swinging? Arman is just not swinging with his Jesus, yeah. This doesn't want to give Chris a good out, right? Because if you in this game spot, Chris cannot play Raigo and Awaken, right?
Yeah.
So he will stay at 1 life. And if Arman would have swung live, then Chris can just Raigo and lead ability and be at 2 life again.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, I'm not sure if Arman is making progress right here.
Yeah, because he doesn't develop a bigger board, right?
Like, they just traded their turns, but Chris is getting a 9k swing against no blocker.
Yeah, the question is if Arman here has a third teach, because then I don't think people play more than 2 Raigos.
Yeah.
No.
Giving double 2k 1k here. Or is it even triple 2k? I think it was a Lafitte in there and the stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And now
But yeah, you're right. Now there's a lot of pressure on Arman, right?
Yeah. Now you had to use a lot of cards from hand. And I think we saw Arman discard a Vasco shot, right? No. Okay, he searched a Vasco shot. There is one in trash, but I don't quite remember if he took one to hand as well. Finding a liberation, so this might mean that you are going for game here. Because Arman has the information,
okay.
right? Like,
how many cards does Chris have in hand?
I can't really tell.
Okay, the second thing on Jesus is like completely useless, right? You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Okay. It's plus 5k. So they are 10k swings right now.
So Arman has like 4 or 5 cards in hand.
Yeah, and you can see Arman also not making an instant play, right? So this means he likely doesn't have 10 cost PP in hand.
Yeah. To him it's like, if I don't have a blocker, I need to go for game, right? Because these... Like, if you don't go for game, you're not forcing these Sabo blocks either.
Yeah.
But apparently he does see some other way. And Chris did have his Luffy. But yeah, so far he didn't have a window to play that.
And the problem is if you swing with these burgers, then your opponent gets to also play babies for tempo, right? That's like the scary part.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, Arman really thinking long. And now there's no more lethal potential, right?
Well, there could be, right? You could just disable both blockers.
Yeah, it really depends how many cards Chris has in hand. But
like if you have liberation, either double liberation or... No, it's not liberation, it's black hole. I always mix up the names. But either forecast event...
Yeah, you have at least one liberation, and then, let's say, a Shigan, you would still swing 6k with leader, right? And then go 10-10.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, does it matter that much? Like, you could go for the 5 and... Yeah,
then
I don't
10,
really think
11.
I don't really think it matters. And you can also just discard your entire hand, right, to the Burgess as well. So you might make them.
Oh, yeah, you can
bigger.
use lead ability with BP technically infinite amount of time, yeah.
Yeah. Just to, like, if you know you're going all in, then you just throw your entire hand into the trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like he does have a double focused event. Shigan would go hard here, like 3 additional cards in trash.
Yeah, but now Arman is swinging face, even though he doesn't have lethal potential. And then you have to question, why didn't he swing last round, right?
Yeah.
Of course, probably Arman didn't expect second Raigo. but
Yeah, no, I think
I think
it's
it'd be
fair.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, and Chris takes. Chris
okay.
takes. And yeah, okay, now Arman goes all in. Okay. Wait,
No,
what did
no,
he just disable? No, he just leaderable. He had a 10 cost BB all along.
he had another
Okay,
10 cost.
he baited us. What? Wow.
Interesting. But his other, like,
Yeah.
the thing is, okay, Sabo can't attack. Now you are going at least 2 up life. And potentially just swinging into one of these Burges.
Okay,
with
but
your
now
leader.
Arman is in the exact same spot as last round, right? So then I'm really surprised he decided to not swing with his Jesus last round, but now he swung with it. Because nothing changed, right?
No, I think it's fair because, like, you have to make your opponent have the Raigo, right? If he doesn't have Raigo, then you're just gaming.
But you could say the same in this spot, right?
Yeah, but it becomes increasingly more unlikely that he has more Raigos, right? Oh, yeah, that even undermines the point even more.
But he probably says he needs to finish next round. And you need to start to drain your opponent from resources. Because Arman only has 2 cards left. So he probably needs to go for Lisa next round. And the round before he wasn't in that position. Yeah, we can see Chris using lead ability, playing a Zabo.
Yeah, just swinging 15.
And his Zabo will be blocker again next round, so he can technically take 3 hits. He
Yeah.
just needs to count out the 4th one. Of course, unless Arman has some sort of finger gun or black hole.
So if this is a 15 swing, right? So if Arman actually has 2k, he could block and save his Burgess.
And it's on Jesus, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, otherwise you are.
Oh, what if 2k, 1k? No, never mind. How big are these? No,
They are 11.
no, it's 11. Okay. Yeah, so it will always be better to block with a BB.
Yeah.
Oh, and
He
he has
does have
two
double
2Ks.
2k. Okay,
Oh
that's crazy.
my god. Yeah, crazy. And I think now, wait, but Chris has a lot of cards. He has like 4 or 5 cards.
Even more, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7, I think.
7 cards.
So finding another Burgess, using that for lead ability, just making these Burgess as big as possible. 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly plus 7k, so they are 12ks. So
You can go
putting
12,
7
13, 13, 13.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just start with a Burgess swing.
But if you need to count out a 12k, Chris needs to have like 5 2ks and a 1k.
True. What? No.
No, sorry for.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm lost.
That's so much more than you actually need. You need triple 2k.
Yeah. Okay,
Just
okay.
need 6k counter. Guys, he's a math student.
Wait, but this is not that unlikely, right? That Chris. I mean,
No,
the
I
thing is,
honestly
Chris...
think he has it.
No, but Chris didn't get to cycle his cards with Sabo. That's the problem, right? You just have random cards in hand.
That's
We didn't
true.
see Chris discard any Morias, for example.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
usually BY you could say, yeah, he will have all the 2Ks in his hand because he just keeps them. But yeah, without the cycle, it's just random cards.
Okay,
And
but
Arman has exactly 1 line, right? There's no...
yeah, there's no...
Actually, if Chris blocks too early, maybe you can survive. That's fun.
I think the 13 you actually always take, right?
And Chris immediately blocked.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
Arman...
upside to blocking right away. Like, you can just
I
take
think it
the
was
life.
take.
Because this is one of the larger swings that you're facing as well.
Yeah.
Like, your life is always going away.
Also, Arman started with a 13k,
Yeah,
but he only has 12 and then 3 13ks.
to be fair, it doesn't really matter in this case because Chris needs to have the counter in his current hand anyways, right?
Yeah, fair.
Like, for sure you take this one.
But then if if you do the 12k first, you know what's up, right? You know if
Yeah.
Chris will be able to counter or not.
Yeah,
And then
that's
you
true.
can adjust your game plan. But maybe
But how does
yeah,
the
no,
adjustment
yes.
of your game plan look? Like, you don't have any cards. Like, you're just swinging anyways. And if you attach the Don first, like, you do triple 13 and just not attack with a teach, just like
Oh,
ARMAN did,
Chris
right?
was able to counter out.
Yeah.
And now he has to go for no, but with Makino it's lethal.
Yeah, it's just game with
You go
Makino. No,
5,
you,
5,
you
7.
can win with Shigun, yeah.
Oh.
So you
Oh, that would be no. I think Chris deserves to win for the trouble he went through. Like, this is such a bad matchup. He's in a mathematical lethal spot if Armor doesn't trigger.
yeah.
Come on, come on.
I'm curious, like, I don't think it's worth it, but you could even swing into board and just go to up life once again. But then you just lose to
Oh,
any 4-drop
oh,
event.
he's reading,
top
he's
deck.
reading. Okay,
Okay, crazy.
I think it was a black hole and he read what
Oh,
the
yeah.
trigger means.
Yeah, that's possible.
Wow, Chris taking the first game.
That's
Incredible.
what's crazy, yeah.
And you can see, right, this way, if Chris starves this game, no shot he wins.
Yeah.
So here it really worked out well that he didn't starve.
But yeah, I'm curious about this timing that you spoke of, because maybe the Burgess should have just swung earlier.
Yeah.
Because you did put yourself in that situation where you can just get Raigot and Chris will be making progress by swinging 9k at your face, and you basically just skipped your turn. Right? And worse,
Yeah.
not only did you skip your turn, but you already have to discard a card every turn to prevent BY from popping off.
Yeah, the question is, of course, what if Chris then develops like a really scary board and starts draining cards earlier as well? So that's really a tough call to make.
But then your 10 cost sticks around.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, he did have double Sabo already on board, so what exactly is the scary thing? Like, I guess punch Luffy's or something like that, but I guess he could like go, but he's probably not developing any additional Sabo blockers. Chances of that with 2 being out on the board are simply
for sure.
rather slim.
Well, look at Chris, he played out the flampe. Usually, we already said, like, you're not too sad if BB starves you, right?
Yeah.
But Chris saying, with his flampe, he really wants to awaken earlier. And of course, you also get a body to swing into Lafitte, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're saying you don't starve your opponent, then you want this extra body to swing into the Lafitte.
For sure. And finding 2 babies, which is really crucial. Do we have a follow-up? No, just a 6k.
Oh, Chris is thinking? Okay. Go through with it. And you know, last time when I casted, it was also Chris against the kids.
Oh,
and there, unfortunately, Chris lost on BY. So I'm hoping that I don't become like a bad luck charm for Chris. So I really hope he wins today.
Rooting for Chris.
And ARMAN probably having the best play on 4, just tempering out to Jesus.
Yeah. Well, Kuzan into Garb isn't shabby either.
Yeah, I think the best answer to Kuzan is playing Van Orgo and then Doc Q. But ARMAN obviously doesn't have the Don on 6 Don, right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't develop the Doc Q earlier. But this Kuzan, I'm not sure if it swings immediately if it survives. because of course you want your opponent to first go face. And
Yeah, I
also
guess this,
Arman decided to not swing on 4, right? Or did Chris counter? I didn't see.
he swung into the flampe,
Ah, okay.
which makes sense, right? Even Hirori was a crucial attacker in that last game, so every single body is always relevant, especially against
Yeah.
Teach.
Yeah, against Cheat is so weird. Also, when you play Dofi, right? Suddenly all your searchers swing into
Yeah, it's
BB.
just like 2k body. Man, that's dangerous. And it's like, if you just think about it in like the best statted rush character in the game to this day is kind of Rush Zoro, right? 3 cost 5k rush. Just
Yeah.
vanilla stat line with rush. And attaching 3 Don to a searcher is sort of a one-time rush Zoro usage, right? Like,
Yeah,
of course,
it's
you don't
good
have the
point.
you don't have the 5k body sticking around, but you simply do have the swing that would result from it.
Yeah. But I'm missing the Zaka days where our searchers were 3k buddies.
I mean, there's another hybrid colored leader that has 3k searchers.
Yeah, fair.
But we won't tell the people what we're talking about yet. Got the secret sauce. So did ARMAN just skip stage? No, okay.
Okay, here's another one. Yeah, here sometimes you don't really play out stage anymore if you see it too late, right? Because
Wait,
the
but
main
he just
upside of
discarded
stage.
Burgess? He discarded
Apparently.
Burgess for stage.
Maybe he has 2 more in hand, and he also wants
But
to
even
remove
then,
his
right?
Kusan.
Don't you just want all the Burgess?
I mean, Arman has 4 cards in hand. What if it's 3 10 cost BBs, right?
But is that better
We
than
don't
Burgess?
really know.
Is that
Really
really?
depends if you also need remove if you want to remove this Kusan. Like, what if his hand is 1 Burgess, Finger Pistol, and 2 10 cost BBs?
But honest, like, why do I care about Kusan if I can just play 4 Burgess onto the board?
That's very fair. Yeah.
And also against my 10 drop, Kusan doesn't really matter that much either, because it's either gonna get Raigot or like the Kusan doesn't change too much. Like, okay, double Kusan changes something, but like I thought about this before the game. Like, if there's a surge and I see Burgess or 10 drop, like, which do I take? And I think I would always take Burgess. Like, of course, there are exceptions, but especially in an early to mid game spot like this. And we are approaching our 8 Don turn here, right? We are on 8 now, so he must have 2 more Burgess in hand. Like, if not, I'm super shocked. Finding another 10 drop.
And talking about shocking, did Chris draw with his Kusan last round? I think he just played Kusan and Baby Luffy on the
ARMAN
same
actually
time.
had used lead ability.
Okay.
That's what he discarded the black hole for.
And why do we lead ability into a 7 Don turn? What are we scared of?
Maybe he didn't want Sabo to come around to protect the Kusan?
Yeah.
I think he's respecting this Kusan.
I think it makes sense if you want to remove something this round.
Wow, okay.
Okay, but yeah, Arman. I mean, maybe he top decked the defeat, right?
But then again, why don't you start with it? So you can still go 7k swing and Burgess?
Yeah. And we took
Taking
stage instead of
yeah,
a
it doesn't
1k
matter,
card.
doesn't
I mean,
matter,
yeah, it
okay.
doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, so I think it's 14 cards in trash. Yeah. So Burgess is now an 8k. But the thing is, Arman is still at 4 life, and if he rests his Burgess now, Chris will just... One of Chris's valid lines is just to swing big into this Burgess.
Yeah.
And that's a big win for Chris.
So
that he got Arman to rest his Jesus. And yeah, here we can see Arman really had other cards in hand, right?
Yeah, I'm really confused about this.
So, yeah.
Like, we know 2 of the cards in hand are 10 drops, right?
Yeah. I mean, he searched at least one. Did he search another one?
He searched 2, yeah.
Okay.
Like one just this turn, and the previous turn where he discarded Burgess, he took for stage, he took a 10 drop off of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, I don't want to impose, but like I'm not an experienced Blackbeard player, but from what I've witnessed, Burgess is always the card. And especially
Yeah,
after the
and
previous game where you saw that Chris is running multiple Raigos, like your 10 drops really use in value. Like if you think about it, you spent your entire turn for a 10 drop that also basically says discard a card, because that's like part of your lead ability. You always have to do that. And you freeze something which might not be swinging anyways, like in the case of the Sabos, like those freezes didn't do anything, right?
yeah, for sure.
And then your opponent trades you one card, like 6 Don for 10 Don. Like it's just not that great.
Yeah, I definitely think you have a point there.
Third 10 drop. Okay, so ARMAN is definitely on the game plan of chaining 10 drops. And I guess it's like fair to an extent. The chances of you having multiple 10 drops is obviously way higher than your opponent having multiple of his unsearchable Raigo. And you are running a playset of 10 drops, have multiple ways to search them, and your opponent is probably not running 4 Raigo.
Yeah. And do you like the 6K swing at Kusan? I guess you get rid of it now, so you don't need to like freeze it in consecutive rounds.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything against that.
You know?
Because your Augur isn't gonna die anyways, you just block.
Mhm.
Another Kusan.
Yeah, and this is a point where Chris like starts burning some hand cards, right? Because your Kusan doesn't draw, your Sabo doesn't cycle. Would be interesting to know how many cards in hand Chris has, because he still has 3 life.
Yeah. And here we obviously saw there was no Raigo, so... And even if there was Raigo, then you would burn 2 of your life, so that's
Yeah.
not even remotely as efficient.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
maybe Arman decided to change up his strategy from last game.
yeah, maybe just like keep him a bit healthier.
Because if Chris didn't have these 2 Raigos last game, he would have lost, right?
But remind me, why was our one Kusan rested in the first place?
It swung into the Lafitte on board. There was a Lafitte on board.
Okay.
We attached Alao down to leader and killed the Jesus, and then Kusan swung into the Lafitte.
Okay. No, but the Jesus was rested while swinging into our Kusan.
Yeah, and okay, there was several Kusans, but yeah, the Kusan, we just swung with it. I don't remember what we swung with it on our 7 on turn. Or yeah, it had to be on our 7 on turn.
Yeah. But now this
Maybe there
board
was
is
another.
like for both players kind of threatening. Like we will just see the third 10 drop here naturally.
Yeah, and also Chris knows that Arman has all these 10 drops, right?
Yeah.
Because he saw him search it.
Not too much you can do with that knowledge though.
Yeah. And yeah, you can see if you don't have these Raigos, even if you build a big board, these BBs, they just block the board you develop, right?
Yeah.
So you're really in a bad position either way. If you can't remove them. Yeah, and Arman's starting to go. You start to go face here, but okay, yeah, Chris decides to block. So probably one of the BBs can swing into this. Do you even rest one of your BBs to kill the Zabo? Because Chris might override his units anyways, right? This is tricky.
Yeah, this is really tricky. I mean, 6 into 6 seems very natural.
Yeah, okay, we haven't fun over, yeah. And you're happy if it dies because it draws your card.
He does swing.
Hey, just
I think it makes sense. Just keep this board as...
Yeah, and you need to get rid of some blockers, even if BY is able to replenish them. But
Yeah.
with Chris blocking this first 5k swing, he's at 2 life, right? So even if your punch Luffy sticks around, you still need one more punch Luffy to awaken, because with leader ability, only punch Luffy awakens you.
Yeah, I'm
Or
surprised.
Gum Bell if Chris plays it.
But you don't run Raigo and Bell,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. So two Raigos.
But I guess the thing is you can't really take the life, because then your Fist Luffy will get disabled from the third 10 drop, and then you're stuck at 1 life. You know?
Oh, yeah, of course. The 10 drop disables the 5 drop. You're right. I wonder if even this 10 drop is the... If ARMAN playing the third BB is the best play. What if you play like 2 removal spells? Would be maybe also okay. But yeah, I think the 10 drop is always the best,
10
right?
drop
Because it
seems
also, as
pretty
you
good.
said, disables something.
Yeah. So ARMAN's game plan obviously is working out really well here. Just chaining as many 10 drops as possible.
Yeah, and he also knows he's at 2 life. He has this one BB on board that is active. There's no way he's dying, so I think it's a smart decision by ARMAN to realize he is allowed to rest these 10 drops and pressure the BY.
Like, I'm still... If we had Van Auger in hand at the point where we discarded Burgess, I'm still, like, Team Burgess on that one, but... Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much in this game state.
Yeah, you're still not over it.
And now you're drawing a card for the Auger.
And
So-
also ARMAN just very confidently... Wait, did he... He probably countered the Kuzan swing, right? And then blocked the 8k swing from leader?
No, he let the Van Auger die to the 8k.
So he blocked the 5k from Kuzan. Yeah, ARMAN just knows he's not really in any danger. And also, even if ARMAN now does some, let's say, suboptimal turns, he's so safe behind these BBs, right? But yeah, I think the game
We're
might
just
be
swinging,
over here.
yeah. Just 15.
And Chris has 6 hand cards, I think.
Yeah. So if it's
ARMAN needs to
actually
decide if he
max
dies.
perfect hand, like 5-2
But yeah,
case,
15k. Yeah, and Chris immediately gives up.
alright, we are seeing a game 3. But these are going quite fast, actually.
Yeah.
ARMAN taking a toilet break there.
And man, we already saw Chris winning one of the games, right? We said this is such a bad matchup. But I guess it's ARMAN you feel fine, even if you lose the first one, you know it's a very favored matchup.
Yeah. But so
But you
far,
really, yeah.
in the NCL, we also saw the same matchup with Justin against Turtle. And Turtle was also able to actually win that as the BY player.
Oh, and ARMAN revealing his Tempest
I
kick
was
tech
surprised
here.
about that as well. Like, now...
Pre-information.
Because that's what I wanted to talk about in game 1 as well. Like, Chris attacked with Makino first, right? Which was very crucial in case of Tempest kick trigger. But now Chris knows for sure that Tempest kick is in the list.
Yeah. But also these players, they are one of the best in Europe, right? So of course they do their homework and know what possible cards are run in each deck list.
Yeah. You would think so, but then again, sometimes still huge misplays happen.
Yeah, fair.
As you can see in my match against Fabi from last week.
Oh no.
Still having PTSD. But yeah, playing at home and playing on the stage in the NCL headquarters is also sort of a different situation.
Yeah, and this is the first time that Chris is allowed to go second here.
True, yeah.
And we'll have to see how... Maybe Chris changes up his game plan that situation. We'll have to see. But also this means that ARMAN potentially needs to need ability one round earlier, right?
Yeah, yeah. So thinking hard, actually, if he... Okay.
Hit
Stage
stage.
seems natural.
Switch of Laboon.
Just digging through everything that's not Burgess and Teach. We do see for the third game in a row the Flampe on turn 1. And a Garb to follow up, so... Some early bodies, and I think that's actually the very first Rocket Luffy that we've seen all set.
Yeah. It's really not a relevant unit in this matchup. If you don't play Gum Gum Bell, like, what do you pop with a Rocket Luffy, right?
Yeah,
Because your Jesus are immune. And if there's like... I guess there's a possibility when like a Laboon comes down and it doesn't get rested.
Mm-hmm.
But that, yeah, it's one of these edge cases. And ARMAN is just very aggressively searching here. I think he's really happy about that. And he can pick up a Jesus. Will he do it this time?
He's
Oh,
taking Lafitte,
he's
huh?
thinking about Lafitte. I mean, it does force your opponent to rest one unit, but
I mean,
they have two
Flampe
units on
doesn't
board
care.
already. Like,
Yeah, he takes the Burgess.
He
Thank
made
God.
you proud. He made you proud.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you just... Oh, and ARMAN actually deciding not to use the docu, okay? I feel like if you just cycle him, then you're probably okay. But probably ARMAN says he doesn't
But,
have
like-
the next docu, and this next round might be just Fun Augur.
Yeah, just preparing the removal of Kuzan.
Yeah. Also, again, like Chris has two 1-drops on board, right? So even removing one of them isn't that big of a change.
Yeah, exactly. The other one will just kill your docu then.
Yeah. And yeah, ARMAN also all 3 games had the stage really early. So I'm even more surprised that these games go so fast.
Yeah, true.
Because if you've ever played Reiju, like at least the old Reiju with stage, games take just so long because you use stage every round to search something.
there's a search decision every single time. So we do see
And not
Van
only the
Augur.
search decision, but also what you discard.
Yeah, true.
And yeah, here we see the Van Augur. And this is such a nasty combo because if you need to remove this engine, right, because it just removes any 4-drop your opponent plays, and this Van Augur also brings BY's 5-drops into black hole range.
Yeah.
But then also, if you remove it, your opponent drew a card you didn't swing face. It's just so good for BB.
Yeah.
Either way.
Oh, we counter with the Burgess. No.
Keck by Jesus.
Actually good.
Yeah, and Chris really trying to farm some cards here, and I don't mind this decision. I think if you have the opportunity to just get some cards out of BB's hand. And again, if you play a Kuzan, it just gets removed.
But why did we
and Chris
even
also
protect the
deciding
first
to
swing?
kill the docu. And especially after you saw your opponent discard a Jesus, right? You're even more happy to remove all their removal pieces. Because then the only punish to like removing all their removal pieces is if your opponent starts slamming Jesus, right?
I'm still not happy about the fact that we countered with Burgess. I'm just...
Yeah. We have to see what
Because,
ARMAN is
like-
now able to do on 7 Dawn.
You let the Van Augur go to the second swing then? There's like some issue apparently.
Yeah, not sure.
I think they are
They're talking about
checking
hand
if...
cards.
Yeah. Wow,
But I
this
think
is,
we didn't see anything, right? So
No, I think everything was fine. But this,
Yeah, but-
like recreating the game state to track how many cards should have been drawn at this point against Blackbeard is so complicated, right? Because you have to factor in every stage usage and event being played, card draws from Docu and Van Augur.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
might
it looks
take a
like
while.
Chris thinks ARMAN has one too many cards in hand, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. We can just
But
wait.
yes, so what do you think is the best play on 7 Don now for the BB?
Mm,
Usually I would
probably.
say maybe something like Jesus plus Lafitte. But your
Yeah.
Lafitte gets farmed by these one drops, so
Maybe just
yeah.
another dock Q. Like swing it to one of the rested characters, dock Q the other. Maybe you don't even need to dock Q it.
Yeah, at this
Just
point the
put an
dock
active dock
Q
Q.
isn't that threatening, right?
Just put.
Or maybe ARMAN doesn't know if he already drew for turn or not.
Yeah, I think that's the discussion.
Yeah.
Or if he drew twice.
I actually had this discussion once in a Top Cut match, and we had to recreate the entire game.
Really?
But it isn't actually that difficult because it was also with Saka, but you just count the number of times you use Saka ability or like stage, and then you like track how many cards you have in trash. Because ARMAN also didn't use lead ability yet, right? So
No,
it
he
becomes a little
didn't.
easier.
But still, like all the stage usages, and yeah, they conclude that he did in fact not draw yet.
Yep.
So yeah, 7 Dawn. I mean, you know me, I'd like to drop a Burgess and just use the remaining Dawn for some searches, I guess, right? Do find the Dock Q. So yeah, now Burgess and Dock Q, swing 5 into Garb, I guess.
Yeah, but again, I don't
Actually-
think committing Dock Q on this board is that great anymore.
Yeah, true, it's a
Because it's a card and you're already at this point. I guess next round is only 9 Don, so you don't really play 10 cost teach at that point.
But
so
what
maybe
are we-
that's
What are we doing about
Yeah.
this Garb? Are we killing it and then using lead ability? Because Chris is about to hit 8 Dawn and he would have Garb Kuzan in trash.
yeah, exactly. We definitely need to lead ability.
Yeah.
Even if there's not only Kusan and trash is
Yeah,
enough,
yeah.
I think, to justify it. And from how ARMAN played last game, he probably doesn't want to swing live and play around Raigo again.
Yeah, true.
Here we see I think it was the first time we searched the 10 cost.
Yeah, it was. So, and then you're saying that like 3 life is sort of...
ARMAN swinging into Flampe instead. Oh no, he removes both. Okay.
He moves.
But yeah, also he's
Okay.
playing. This is a very curious play because, imagine ARMAN instead of playing like these 2 Doku or Lafitte plus Doku, he had a Jesus here, right?
Yeah.
Completely different story. And these 2 Doku, like at this point, your opponent will not, like Chris will not remove one of these Dokus, and then you just committed 2 cards.
And
I
two
think
Dokus
playing the
is
second
also not...
Doku, I wouldn't.
Yeah, 2 Dokus isn't really... It's diminishing returns, right?
Yeah.
Like you only remove 1 character per turn anyways, and since you can assume that there's mostly going to be 5 drops coming down from now on, Doku isn't even really doing that much because you always need the Laboon to do something relevant there.
Yeah, and this just disincentivizes your opponent to clear your first Doku.
Yeah.
And then you don't even get your card you invested.
Yeah, very true.
But maybe these Dokus will swing for Lisa at some point, you know?
Yeah.
I can already see it.
Double Burgess in there.
Yeah. And ARMAN here could have double Burgess, right? For 8 on left now. He could just go double Burgess.
Discarding Doku number 3.
But yeah. ARMAN already saw 3 Burgess, right?
I think
2 in
so,
his last search and then 1 he discarded.
Yeah.
So very unlikely he has double Burgess.
But with how much he searched, also not. Okay, he does have a Laboon. That's also like very good.
Makes sense.
Okie dokie.
So yeah, Chris now he immediately swings 5.
Yeah, into Laboon presumably.
Oh no, I think
2 in hand?
ARMAN hasn't passed yet. Because he also hasn't rested his turn yet. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, true.
Okay. And yeah,
Not-
here you just swing into the Slapoon, right? Like these
Yeah.
stock cues, they're on the board.
You just drop
Just kill
double
the
5
Slapoon.
drop. Oh, and
Yeah,
actually the
this
Rocket Luffy
is
comes up,
also
right?
a case where, yeah, you swing 5 into the Slapoon, ARMAN counters, and then you need to remove it. But also ARMAN, he only has a single card in his hand, and we know it's 10. This is Chris didn't want to starve this game, right? But
No, he
it
just
turned out
attacked
that
into
ARMAN
board
kept.
whenever it was
Yeah.
logical.
And now I think it's difficult for ARMAN to win.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't have that threatening of a board, and he can't defend his units once he rested.
Yeah, and one turn you can play your card and use lead ability, but after that, if you are not being attacked, you cannot do both. Like, you cannot develop further board and use lead ability.
Yeah. And yeah, Chris will never swing again into these stock cues.
And imagine you had these stock cues in hand, then you could like fuel your searches, you could fuel your lead ability.
Okay, but now the question is Chris, do you swing into life or not?
No, I don't
If you
think
swing,
so.
you give them units, but also you need to survive. I guess you always survive, right? Because your opponent only has 3 big swings, and you have 2 life and a
you're
blocker.
super fine, you're chilling.
But this is where it will come up that ARMAN will swing like 7 with stock Q. I'm telling you.
There was the Raigo.
But Chris has Raigo.
Yeah.
Oh. He trashes 1 life. I think only 1 life,
but
right?
he still has this
a 2
blocker
life.
around, and okay, actually hard playing Baby Sabo. It's interesting. But he still has a big grip as well.
No, Chris has 1 million cards in hand.
He top decked 10 cost.
Oh.
By the way, what do you think about the decision to not use stage last turn? Like, he was afraid of of just whiffing, I guess. And then if you whiff, your opponent would have lead ability.
I'm not sure how Jesus is already at 9k.
Possible.
Yeah, it depends how. Yeah, it's difficult to say, right? If this 1 card matters, if Jesus will become 1k bigger or not.
Yeah, but also just finding another 10 drop, right? Because.
Okay, but also, how do you like this decision to use the BB effect on the adult Sabo and not the baby Sabo?
Yeah, good point. Not at all. Like, Sabo's not gonna swing anyways.
And now we're at this point where, ARMAN can't use lead ability, and now Moria is suddenly active.
Oh my god, yes, you're so right.
And he knows exactly what to do, right? He doesn't play like greedily Kuzan, he plays his Nami. Yeah. So he has enough blockers. And ARMAN, you know exactly what your opponent is gonna do because they have 0 cards in hand.
Now imagine if he froze the baby Sabo, if he disabled the baby Sabo, that would have been so much better. Like, opponent would have a 5 drop less.
And the Sabo, I don't think Chris' Sabo will ever swing anyways.
Yeah, no.
So,
what is the swing doing? Like, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think ARMAN's opportunity to win was like freeze the baby Sabo and then top deck Liberation, go for game. That's like one of the ways out.
You think it's over now?
But he drew another 10 cost!
Yeah, he drew another 10 drop.
Oh.
With stage this time though.
But why does ARMAN have 2 cards? Oh, Chris swung live.
Chris swung, yeah.
So now ARMAN is allowed to use lead ability, but he decides not to. Because Chris is probably overwriting his board if he plays another Moria, right?
Yeah.
And I think ARMAN needs to start being scared of dying, so probably needs to keep cards in hand. Third PP, that's crazy.
Oh, Raigo.
Another Raigo. To be honest, we drew something with Nami. The Sab was also now cycled, right?
Yeah.
But Chris definitely getting lucky to see so many Raigos. And like his first and his third game.
Yeah, but Chris is like doing everything right as well. I feel like he's playing really well. It's I guess the advantage of playing Blackbeard yourself, right? You know how to fight against it.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Know your opponent better than yourself.
Yeah.
And Chris now thinking about what to discard.
Yeah, and
he swings with Sabos. Yeah. He just knows he will never die.
Yeah, he's 7k leader 2 up life, quite a lot of cards in hand, still 2 active blockers.
And I think ARMAN is really punching himself right now for these docus on board, right? They have 0 impact, and he could have used them round prior to deny this Moria value, right?
Yeah,
By using the ability.
yeah, for sure.
It's so crazy Chris drew 2 Rygos. Like, what?
Yeah,
Arman top deck all his 10 costs, and then Chris just drew all the Rygos.
yeah, yeah.
The luck equaled out.
To be fair, after the first Gecko, like, you are a lot more likely to see more Raigos, right?
Yeah.
Just drawing 3 cards at once with the
And
Nami
maybe
Sabo.
Chris is playing like 3 or 4 right? We don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Probably not 4, but 3 is
Yeah.
very possible. Just watch us see the deck
Yeah,
lists, and then
Arman.
it's gonna be 2, and he drew both of them in.
Yeah. I think Arman would be very tilted then. But also, I think Arman is in such a doomed spot, right? You sort of know you cannot win, no matter which decision you make.
Yeah.
But yeah. These are sort of the worst spots where you have to calculate very carefully, and then you realize all your lines are losing, but you need to choose the least losing line.
Yeah, yeah. Still hope your opponent somehow screws up.
Yeah.
And we do find the 4th teach.
And if we
So-
play, we probably don't lose, right? Because we have 2
no.
life and 2
Yeah.
blockers.
For now, we are fine.
But also, if Arman rests this... No, I think you can rest your Jesus, right? Your opponent swings into Jesus. I mean, yeah, again, I think you never win no matter what you do, but...
Yeah, I think you need to rest Burgess and then try to protect it if opponent swings into it, and just hope to get some cheeky lethal via 4-drop events to disable the blockers.
Yeah. Maybe you hope Chris doesn't have another baby Sabo.
Yeah.
And then somehow tries to go for lethal or something, and then you can lethal him back.
And actually disabling the Fist Luffy here to deny a draw on Chris's side.
And I think Arman also used lead ability. That is cutting
Yeah,
the
yeah, he
feed,
did.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burgess is a 12k. Big Burgess.
It's a big boy, yeah.
Like, how different would this game have looked if the Van Augur we played at some point would have been a Burgess, you know?
Yeah, if we kept this Burgess in hand anyways and played it when we played the 2 docus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if we disabled the baby Sabo instead of the big Sabo that round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There were a lot of discussion points.
Yeah, the deck is really hard to play.
But also, we always just commentate with imperfect information, right?
True.
We don't know the exact hand cards, and we also don't know maybe very specific matchup knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Chris had another Sabo baby, so he's probably never losing.
Oh, but Tempest Kick trick.
Oh.
That might actually be hope, right? Because, like,
But no,
you have
but Chris
Black Hole?
removed the Jesus.
true, he cut it.
But you're saying it's like black hole, and then you swing with your BBs.
Yeah, yeah.
Sabo dies, and you force the leader, the life. And then you go 11k with leader at life.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it depends how many cards Chris has in hand, but that's actually an out. You're right.
It is some sort of hope.
But Arman doesn't look happy, I think.
No, no.
Yeah.
That gesturing looks like despair. Oh, okay.
Did you see?
Black
Oh,
hole?
wait. He has to go for it, right? Like there's no alternative.
No, there isn't. Wow, he might actually be able to turn this.
It would be crazy if Arman finds game, yeah. Finding all his 4 10 drops.
So
But as Chris, you had to swing there, right? You cannot play around the trigger, I think. Because otherwise you don't have these the next round, right?
yeah, also depends. I mean, Chris would know if he even is able to survive, right? Like, he might just not actually be at risk of dying. And there is
and
double event
ARMAN
and
actually
double
double.
13. So we need triple 2k, 1k? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he has it.
He has enough!
He has enough. And, okay, excess. Like, he has
Oh, yeah,
triple 1k in
1Ks.
addition.
Insane. Wow.
What a
And
sad...
Chris, this is such a rough matchup, but he manages to pull ahead, like winning 2-1.
Yeah.
Insane.